Today we're beginning a unit on fantasy. This genre is one that many of our students love to do. So we're going to begin by watching a YouTube video about the genre of fantasy. So I want you to pause this video here and go back up to the top of the lesson and watch this video. So now that you watch the video, fantasy is a specific type of fiction. Many of the popular books these days are actually in the genre of fantasy. You can see there's Harry Potter, Lightning Thief, Eragon, Wrinkle in Time, Narnia. A lot of the Percy Jackson books are also included in this category. Look at these charts below. We're going to look at the major differences between fantasy and realistic fiction. In fantasy, it's an imaginary story that could not happen in real life, whereas contemporary realistic fiction is an imaginary story that could actually happen. So that's the big difference. A fantasy could not happen in real life. Main characteristics of a fantasy include magic or unreal elements, setting that can be real or imaginary, follows a narrative story structure, and characters often have unusual traits or even special powers. In a realistic fiction, it focuses on issues and problems that they're having in today's world. It is a narrative story as well, structured with characters, plot, and setting. The same thing as in the fantasy. But the story here, the setting, takes place in the real world in modern times. So we're going to focus on imaginary things that could not happen in real life. But it still has a normal story structure with characters, plot, and our setting. As we begin this fantasy unit, one of the most important things you can do is to try hard to understand the world of fantasy books. This will help us get a deeper understanding of our text. Our in-class reading will be from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. It's a wonderful classical fantasy fiction book. I will be using this text to help model various strategies for reading the genre of fantasy, and you will practice these skills using your own independent fantasy novel. Right. In the next page, you are going to have a discussion post that you need to complete, and then after that, you are going to have to make up your reading for the introduction and chapter 1 of The Wizard of Oz. I have given you on that page the written out text, the questions. You will also have at the bottom, I've given you the video to help you, and also with timestamps. So if you need to go from chapter to chapter, one day you might need chapter 4, there's a timestamp of what time in the video to go to get to chapter 4. You can always use the video for audio text anytime you think you need it.